Hey everyone, it's Rob Stanley with the Ecom Wiz podcast. And today I have Norm Farrar. He's CEO of prReach, which is one of the world's first video press release services. They offer a lot more than that, and we're going to dive into it. Hey Norm, thanks for being on the podcast.
Hey, no problem. It's my pleasure.
So I've actually known Norm for a while, and we keep running into each other at all these different conferences, conventions, and things going on. And of course, almost all of them are related to Amazon World. And that's why I wanted to have Norm on, because I think that there's a lot of people that are missing a part of their marketing for their Amazon products. And this is where something like a press release could really help. So why don't you dive into, Norm, on what kind of services are you offering to the Amazon seller community regarding the prReach, and let them know kind of like how it helps them and how it can help them out.
Okay, sure. So the very first thing when you're looking at a press release, there's basically two different things you're looking at, two different strategies. And one is either building a brand or launch and rank. And if you're building a brand, you can't do one press release. You've got to be able to do multiple press release over time. And like I've seen, and Rob, I'll show you later, and hopefully we can show everybody this, but I can show where the one brand dominates 2 full pages of Google.
Wow.
Just by press releases from 2016 until I think I took the screenshot August 19, 2019. And it was every slot was us except for one. And all that it is over every year. I've done press releases for 20 years. And Amazon came around and it did what every other company did. It worked. If I wanted to build a brand, but I just did it continuously, think of it as a radio advertisement. So if you're a micro brand, so a private label seller out there, nobody really knows your name. And by doing this, that'll help out. The other side of it is doing a product launch. And this was a complete surprise to me going back 3 years ago, 4 years ago, where I was doing press releases and I noticed that my launches were sticking. They were doing pretty good.
Nice.
Then I don't know, I think I went to a conference and somebody was talking about doing multiple on e-com, not just Amazon. I gave it a shot and everything changed. Now I did it was rebates, or back then it was incentivized reviews. We won't say anything about that. But back then we gave away just a handful of supplements, and we dominated number 1 to number 3 for like 6 major keywords by using press releases and those other things we don't talk about anymore. But now all that's changed is using rebates with press releases, and it works incredibly well. So during a product launch, I like using multiple press releases over a 2-week period. Depending on the search volume and the price and the competition, you basically write 4, 8, 12, 16, or 20 press releases. And by the way, that's over a period of a month. But the most press releases are over that 2-week period. But if you're doing a supplement, you might want to do 20. If you're doing something that's average, you might want to do 4 over a 2-week period. And anyways, we would tie that into rebates. So we work with different companies out there. There's lots out there. You've got the Rebate Heats of the world. You've got the Rank Bells of the world. And we just tied them into keywords. And by doing it, we did a test study. The one was just, and this was for knives. We did knives that were just rebates, just press releases, and then a combination. And by far, the one that stuck the most and for the longest was the combination of the two. Now, one of the things you've got to remember when you're doing this, it's like anything you do on Amazon, you've got competition. So if you think you're going to do a launch and rank and it's one and done, you'll never have to touch it again, you're absolutely wrong. You have to continually monitor those keywords. And if they start to drop, then you have to throw either a press release or a couple of more rebates with a press release out there, and it almost immediately adjusts, unless you've lost your indexing for some reason. But that's typically how we're doing it. One other thing I should probably mention is the keyword research is slightly different when you're doing the press releases and the rebates. We use, you'd know about this, knowing your background, we use the old keyword silos, which are like the primary keyword that you want to go after. So let's say it's natural bully sticks. And then you've got all the long tails. So 6-inch natural bully sticks, 12-inch organic or odorless natural bully sticks. And you start to build them out and you start targeting those keywords. And because they don't have the search volume, you don't have to give away as much. And what you find out over a period of time is that primary keyword will start to move up just organically with these long tails. And you could save thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars just by doing it that way.
Yeah. And I want to circle back around a little bit.
Yeah.
So Norm was talking about how he owned like a lot of the search on Google. Now, we're basically talking SEO type stuff here. And this is one thing I learned early on when I was running my iPhone business, is that I noticed that, okay, you could own a few spots, usually like the name of your company or the name of your website would show up, around the top. But then I found like some of my YouTube videos would start showing up in there. And then, any press releases we did would show up. So that's exactly what Norm's talking about. You want to own the majority of the real estate around your product or your brand, or depending what you're launching, even if it's just a website, you want to own as much of that real estate for certain, for the keywords that are relevant to you, even if it's not keywords. I mean, obviously you're going to probably own your name if it's a unique name, but you're also looking for, like you said, different variations of it. And that's what we're talking about. And just to touch on real quick, so anybody who is listening on our podcast, we are going to have on YouTube some samples and examples of what Norm is talking about with some of these examples he's talking about. So be sure to go over to our YouTube channel and check that out. And Norm, so we're talking also about video press release services. Yeah. And so kind of maybe describe like what kind of video press releases do you guys do, and where does it go out to? Does it go out to news stations, or can I get it on a news station, or, kind of what's involved with that video press release service?
So before I talk about the video press release, you touched on something there with distribution, and it's so important. So many, especially new sellers, it could be just entrepreneurs, they want to do it on the cheap. So they're going to go and find a cheap writer that says they're a press release writer, where they're really a blog article writer, and they still are probably not that great. But anyways, they'll say that they're a press release writer. You hire them for $5, and then you go and find a cheap press release company that either will distribute it for free, or it might be $25 or $49. Well, you have to really take a look at that distribution. Yeah. That is going to make the difference. It's all about authority. So if you're going to smalltownidaho.com or CNN, you're going to have a lot different pull when that links over to your Amazon listing. And that's the key, is that when you are doing this, don't try to fool. The system's all changed with embedded links and tying those into your search word or your keywords. You can put your keywords in the title, okay, first of all. So you can keyword stuff your title. Don't put your brand in the title. You can put, like, for example, grass-fed, natural, organic, bully sticks provide health benefits to elderly dogs. Okay, that's a perfectly fine title. Don't waste and don't lose juice because you're trying to do embedding. Google's not even recognizing that anymore. What you can do is talk about, maybe one of the benefits or your launch, and put the second paragraph in your press release, put learn more at, and put the raw link going back to your product. And what happens is all those incredible CNN, Fox News, it could be Reuters, USA Today, the big guys will go out there. It could be Google News. It could be, the search engines, the content marketing companies, depending on the distribution network. And they usually charge between $100 and it can go up. If you're getting charged $100 to $300, you're in the zone. You're getting really great distribution, but ask for it. So now how does that apply to video? A lot of, people will come over to our facility or over at our business, and, they don't understand, what the video is. Do I supply the video? No. We'll produce it. We'll have this professional looking anchor that gives authority and trust. Everything you're trying to do with a press release is about authority and trust. We might have it on our site, so we host it at prReach. It gets distributed. Some other companies or distribution or media outlets will show the video. Most will not. They'll just show the written. So what's so good about a video press release? Going back to the authority and trust, you can take that and repurpose that. So maybe you're doing a contest, and so you've got a ClickFunnels, driving people over from Facebook over to this ClickFunnels site. You have that video that you just download and put it in there. You talk about your contest, and then you have your order form and a training video. That video is going to give the authority that you need to give people confidence that you're real. The other thing is you can put that video onto your website. You can tie that video, and what we try to do all the time, we haven't even touched on this, but if I'm doing that dog video about, the elderly dog well, guess what? I'm going to write an article that says 5 reasons why elderly dogs need, and it's a different way of writing, but I'm going to link that over to my internal blog. And guess what's going to be in there? The video. Yeah. It's going to show when people come over from Google, this is going to rank on Google, they're going to see it and they're going to go, wow, like they'll see the video that you did as a press release. And you can also add this into your media room. Very simple to create a tab on your website and just create a media room so people can go in and either see the written or the videos. And also repurposing on Facebook. You can use that for an ad. You can use that for just a post. You can put it on Pinterest. You can put it pretty much anywhere, and you just repurpose it. And then if you want to use that, and I know there's a lot of but it goes so deep because you can take the video press release, take the URL and put it onto Facebook and repurpose it. Then you can take the blog you just wrote that has the video press release in it and put that on, and all you're doing is just more and more content that you're producing for yourself for marketing. But at the same time, when you've got, let's say we're working with the video press release and the content, Google's loving you. Amazon's loving you because it's linked back, and you're not doing anything wrong. It's complete white hat. They love it because of all the authority links, I think. Google loves you because it's educational, knowledge-based, and you're just providing pure content, nothing more.
Yeah, and so speaking of authority links, let's talk about that a little bit. So you did touch on that a little bit earlier, and what I want people to understand is, they're going to see, I can go out to Fiverr and this guy will get me a bunch of press releases and he'll put them out to a bunch of places and I'll get all these links. So what you want to look for, and what Norm is saying, it's the quality of where it's going. For instance, like you said, the idahonews.com, you're not going to get as much authority as, say, like the New York Times, right? New York Times is going to give a lot more authority to not only your product, but your brand. And more people are going to see it and probably have a chance of clicking on it. And I'm just using an example, but what these people will do, and I've seen videos actually done on people going and getting press releases done on Fiverr and stuff, is they put them on all these no-name sites, and half the time they're no follows, which means there's no really domain authority or SEO authority that drive it back to there. And that's not what you want. I mean, even if you get a no follow, let's say from the New York Times, the fact is that they're mentioning your name, that's going to give you an authority. And that's what Norm's talking about, is you got to go with the quality stuff. And when I did it back in the day, I actually had a press service and they were getting me into the bigger newspapers. We even got redistributed out a few times, and that was really cool. And that's what Norm is talking about. And then just to touch on the fact, like Norm said, you could take that video, and we do this actually at Feedback Wiz on some of our videos that do really well, is we actually put them into a blog article and write an entire blog article and embed the video. And now I have another piece of content almost based off of the content we already created. So it's a way you can actually create more content from a piece of content. And that is just awesome, Norm. And I really appreciate you going into some detail on that. And so let's also, let's talk a little bit about, so you were saying that, people don't have to make the video. You guys will make the video for them. You'll provide this service. And what other services are you guys providing besides that?
Well, you remember that content article, so the 5 reasons why.
Mm-hmm.
We also go the other way to the press release. So press release services usually allow embedded YouTube videos. So what do? We go, if you have the content, if you have the blog article done, we could just do a talking head or something very simple. We can take care of that about the 5 reasons why. Now you've got the press release with the video, authority video, and if somebody wanted, some interesting topics, I think whenever you're looking at the news, it's very boring. But if some people see 5 reasons why, and it's embedded into your press release, they're going to look at that too. Plus, it gives you a link back. So that's one thing. That's another service that we do provide. But it's just a great way to just kind of get everything going back and forth. So some of the other services that we provide, content marketing. Mm-hmm. So content marketing is, we'll write the blog articles, quality writers. I mean, the people that we write them for, forget the sellers. We write articles for doctors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter what field you're in. We'll research, we get the approval, from whoever we're writing for, but we can do that. We can write ebooks. We can do pretty much anything you want. But typically what we like to do would be a 1,500 word article. And then every quarter or every month, we add just a bit more. And what does that do? It gets Google coming back, picking you up on that article and just, re-indexing. So it looks good. It looks like it's brand new content. So we'll just keep back hitting that back. The other thing we provide are lifestyle images. So lifestyle images are so important, especially with Amazon right now. If you go and take a look at the typical new seller, they don't know how to block out or create a storyboard for their images. They'll show the back of the product. They'll show the front of the product. And it's all done by iPhone, and the pictures are awful. Well, one of the first things of really, optimizing your listing is images. And part of those images are getting away from just a product shot. It's lifestyle, social proof. And those are things that we're doing right now. We've got 40,000 capacity for photographers, but we've got 15,000 lifestyle photographers that are set, ready to go. And they're all in specific niches. So if somebody that's pet crazy, well, there could be some candid shots, or there could be some polished shots of somebody posing with your bully sticks, or a pet with your bully sticks. And then those can also be used for the biggie. Like right now, there's 3 ways to rank your product on Amazon right now. PPC, and this is without driving in external traffic. So PPC, rank press releases with rebates, and Amazon posts. And people like with these lifestyle, it's different. It drags your eye over to something other than a white background. And you get to show those lifestyle posts on your competitors' listings. So, it's beautiful. So those are the main things that we are working on at prReach.
Yeah. So thanks, Norm. That's some great information about prReach and what you guys do. So now what we're going to do is jump right into some slides that Norm has to show us. And he's going to kind of cover everything we just got done talking about. But just real quick, before everybody gets onto these slides, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And Norm, why don't you take it away?
Okay, perfect. So one of the things I wanted to tell people about was about building your brand. And just by continually putting out press releases that are interesting or content, how you can just dominate. And this is, I took it right off of Google. So we got position 1 on Amazon, Press Advantage 2016, prReach from us, January 19, Amazon. Here's 3 images that we had. News 9, USA Today, Pinterest, Facebook, retail or e-store, KSWO, dog scent cap. I mean, and went on and it went on.
Wow.
Like this. I mean, can you imagine being able to do that? You could build this for your brand. You could build it for your listing, but just by continually putting out good quality content and press releases. This was just, I was actually amazed because I was searching and trying to get some information for another podcast I was doing. And I came across this and I went, oh my gosh, I got to take, some pictures of this.
That's awesome. I mean, if people are confused about SEO, this is SEO at its finest right here. This is what you want to do. You want to rank. You want to rank for your product, for keywords, and that's exactly what he's showing. Now, just so everybody knows who's watching this, yeah, he had to gray out the information because it can't be sharing everything, but each one of those is a ranked area, and how awesome is that? So, Norm, I know you have some other examples of stuff we were talking about that you guys do. Why don't you go ahead?
Okay, so I like using this image because I hear a lot of the time how press releases don't work. And okay, so here's the benefit of bully sticks, June 11th, 2018. Wrote it. It was #1, as you can see, Digital Journal the same day.
Wow.
Now, for those people who say press releases don't work, not only was Chewy, our brand, #1, okay, it was actually, I'm not sure if that was sponsored or not. Just take a look at benefits of bully sticks. That's still #2 after 1 full year. June 11th, 2018, June 11th, 2018. That was done on August 13th, 2019. Also, coincidentally enough, whoops, not that. Let's go back. There we go. So we have that. We have the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th spot. And if you take a look, our image, and guess what? A video from prReach also on this brand. Isn't that crazy?
Wow. That's great. Yeah. And I mean, you were just saying, and I just want to point this out again, less than 24 hours, it had been indexed and was searchable, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. That is crazy. That is absolutely, that's marketing at its finest right there with PR. Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. All right. What else you got, Norm?
All right. So this is the one that I love. So going back to that search within 24 hours indexed. Well, the power of the title is everything. Forget everything else. If you had nothing else in the press release, it's the title. So constructing the title properly with keyword phrases, with the benefits, whatever you'd like, you won't believe this. So we put out, I'm going to have to go back one. $216, this is 1 day after we put out this press release. 216 keywords were ranked on Google. 180 were ranked page 1. 121 were ranked #1. Now, some of the keyword phrases are absolutely horrible, but they're out there and they're being ranked. And by the way, if you put, like if you want to geo-target, let's say that you're doing bully sticks and they're being sold in the suburbs, like 350,000 people or less, you will just rank #1 everywhere for the keywords using a good press release company. So that's if you want to geo-target. So take a look. I just started to do this. Let's see, it should be going. Oh, I know what. I got to turn this off. Just 1 sec. There we go.
No problem. And there you go.
Okay, so I'm going to go down each slide because, as you can see, it just keeps going.
Wow.
So it's great. I just love showing what press releases can do. And, it's an old school marketing technique that still works. And one other thing I want to show is, if you want me to, I can show a case study. Sure. Of how we used it with how we use the press releases with rebates. So the very first thing that we look at is we have to beat the Brady's all the time. You've got to put your image in the middle and you've got to surround it by your competitors. I don't care if it's your title. I don't care if you use bullets, but you have to take everything. And if you beat the Brady's, now you're ready to move on to press release and rebates. Because we'll hear, oh, it doesn't work. Well, take a look at your listing and everything's done on an iPhone. You know, rebates and press releases can get people over to the listing. It's up to you to land them.
Absolutely.
So, okay, so here's, I'm just going to go back. Now I can show this again. I got these 3 monitors and they're confusing me. So the first thing is I want to show how we did a knife back in December 13th. They were supposed to come in November. You know, typical, it didn't get in till December the 3rd or December the 10th. We got it in on, we did our first press release and rebate on December the 13th. As you can see, the long tails, there's 2 different keywords that we were going for. Here's the primary. And if you notice on the primary, it doesn't necessarily go straight up and right across. It takes time. Sometimes it takes months, but it's organic. And if you can get a keyword like chef knife to be number 1, number 2, or number 3 without doing any form of promotion to it, I'll take that all day long.
Yeah.
So just take a look at this. These are actually taken from Helium 10. So you see the skyrocket from 200 straight up. And, you know, if I went back, you would see the same thing over here.
Yeah.
Like take a look at where they're sticking within days. And by the way, there was a total of 8 press releases over this period of time. So I'm going to give you the results on this. There were 8 press releases. They cost $1,688. We did 100 rebates. The product started at $79. And the true cost at the end of the day, because Amazon with a full price rebate gives you back about 75%, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little less, but the true cost was $1,900 for the rebates. So the total cost was $3,888. Okay. Well, look at these results. I mean, I'm pretty happy with them. $66,000 in sales in, I think it was 6 weeks, just over 6 weeks. And the profit, not only were we able to take it from 79. Now the lowest the price of this product was 49. Okay. But when we sold it was 79, we were able to bring it up to 124. And $42,000 later in profit. Not a bad little take.
How many weeks was that of sales?
6 weeks.
6 weeks of sales. Dang, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
and
why I wanted
it.
Go ahead.
And we maintained it. So we watched the different keywords.
Yeah.
And we started to, so, you know, we ended up with kitchen knife, chef's knife. Well, as we took those positions, then we started looking at other keywords and doing the exact same thing and then just monitoring them. So sushi knife, carving knife. And as soon as they started to drop, what do? Couple of rebates, a press release, back up we go.
Wow. That's amazing. That just shows you right there the absolute power of doing a press release with prReach. And that's a great information, Norm. So let's also show everybody, if you don't mind, and we can do a little pause here, but okay. Let's show them, you have a special promotion going during this COVID-19 thing going on that basically trying to help people out. Norm's got this really cool thing going on with prReach to help people that are being affected, mainly businesses that are being affected right now by the COVID-19 virus going on. So Norm, why don't you tell them a little bit about this page we're looking at?
Sure. So we wanted to do something, and our strength, you know, we sat down and it's really reach. We've got the reach. And if people were doing something, it could be a fundraiser, it could be that local store that has put up plexiglass that will protect their employees and protect you know, the consumer. Just anything that people are doing, companies, organizations, even like politicians, anything that we can do that is helping spread the word about COVID-19 and what people are doing in a positive way, we're going to publish for free. So it typically is about $300 for our premium service. If you provide the press release, our editor will go through it and make sure that everything's correct, and then just distribute it for you for free. And I don't care if there's one, I don't care if there's 10. If your company's doing something that's worthy of doing this, there cannot be, this is like it says down below, the objective is helping, not profiting. This means that we won't accept opportunism. So no fake news.
Exactly.
But if you're solid and you want the word out there, we can reach up to about 150 potential people. The other thing that we're doing, same thing, you just have to fill this in as well. If you see an incredible person doing incredible things, we want to know about it. So I heard about this kid, and I don't know their age, but they were fairly young, making 3D masks for like face protectors. They're from their 3D printer. We would hop on that in a second and get one of our writers to contact them, write a press release or write an article on their behalf and distribute it. Because also, like, let's say that we couldn't shape it into a news story, but we could shape it into a really great article. We can put the article through our news distribution and it'll be picked up the same way.
That's awesome. And Norm, thank you so much for doing this. And actually here at Feedback Wiz, we actually are taking advantage of this for the month of April. We are actually taking everybody who signs up for Feedback Wiz, your first months of paid, 100% of your first month's payment, we're donating to Direct Relief, which is a cause that is basically helping getting all the essential items that all the people on the front lines need, the masks and the goggles and things like that. So we actually had Norm is doing one for us. And Norm, I really appreciate you coming on with me. And everybody, if you're wondering where this website is for prReach to be able to get this press release, there will definitely be a link down in the description. And Norm, thank you so much for jumping on here with me on the YouTube channel and sharing this great information.
Hey, you're very welcome. It was my pleasure.
All right. Thank you.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and for more information, please visit feedbackwiz.com.